icebreaker. Hi. Hi. It's like that thing where you say goodbye and you're both going in the same direction.
Oh, we were talking about that earlier.
No way. I don't know what you're talking about. This is going great.
Yeah.
From my point of view.
Great.
We're connecting on things. We're having things in common. Here we go.
So what can you tell us about season 3?
Literally nothing.
And we're done.
All right, great. I could tell you that it's bigger in terms of cast. Obviously, there's a lot more characters introduced, a lot more wolves, a new pack coming to town. You don't really know their motives, the history of it all. It all has to do with all the characters that we've come to know in the first 2 seasons, and we kind of start finding out a little bit more about that background, of the Deaton world and how they came to be involved, how the Argents and the Wolves came to be in a war. They had like some treaty in place, it's like you start finding out the background of this whole world a little more this season, which I don't think we've touched on much the first couple seasons. So that's something that I've totally dug this year. Just in reading the scripts, I'm like, okay, that's why that guy does that.
So your character was in a dark place at the end of season 2, with losing the trust with his dad and being beat up and feeling kind of useless. How do you think that's motivating him in the beginning of season 3 and how he reacts to certain stuff?
Yeah, that's a good question. We pick up 4 months from that point. But yeah, that was definitely that was definitely a boiling point where he kind of hit a couple walls. One with his dad. He was first. He was the first time he's been physically harmed in one of these circumstances, essentially, where it's like the kind of danger it just becomes more real at that point, I think. He's obviously known that this whole thing is dangerous for him to be involved in, but he kind of gets used to it in a sense. And then when he gets hurt, that's jarring. With Lydia too, that just never seems to work out, and that sucks. And then with his dad, that's a whole. He's struggled with that, and that just keeps getting worse and worse as things just escalate. For his dad, for him, for everything, and they're both always involved directly, and he can't tell him, and he doesn't know. If he tells him, would it put him in danger? Would it make him more safe? He doesn't, it's just like a struggle. So coming into season 3, he kind of wants to, just take more ownership of himself and all of it, and protect the ones he loves, and that includes Lydia, even though he's kind of putting that on hold because it hasn't really worked out for him. He's more just focused on, saving everybody, protecting everybody, being that detective, that guy. His dad, essentially, is what we're seeing him kind of become.
I think Stiles get tempted by, the powers that Scott and the pack have, and maybe wants that for himself a little bit.
Especially in these moments of, complete innate human weakness, where he just feels so frustrated, just God, yeah. And that now would actually be a time where I would like someone. That's completely logical. I think, it's not something I don't think we, touch on externally. I think it's more of an in-depth character kind of thing that you're feeling on there. Because we saw Stiles get the offer by the end of season 1. He obviously it obviously has been in his brain. It's obviously been there, but I don't think it's a priority. Especially now, it's almost like Stiles. I feel like is that guy who goes the opposite route of maybe what a normal human would do. It's like if you maybe if you're in danger, or your dad's in danger, or Lydia's in danger at the end of season 1 or whatever, maybe maybe the typical person would then just want power and want to, and kind of lose it a little bit almost, but Stiles doesn't focus on that, and instead he just focuses on what he can control, and that's himself and how he protects, his loved ones, and he just does what he can, I guess, and he knows that that's the best way, really, despite it not being technically the most supernatural or efficient.
Good job.
That was a great one. You guys get that?
Yeah,
We did.
Drawing?
I asked this of Posey too, but is there anything that you know now after doing like 2 1/3 seasons of the show that you wish you could go back and kind of tell you season 1, day 1?
Yeah, how to act.
You
Anyway,
do a great job in season 1. What are you
thanks.
saying?
No, thanks. I'm just joking. I'm just being
He's awesome. He knows it.
Yeah, there's, because it's kind of weird, you play this character and you have a starting point, but we're rolling, we're recording those episodes and everything, and you obviously come to learn so much about your character, to a point where you're in such a different. You wish that you were there when you first, started, but in a sense that it's not possible in a sense because none of it was created, none of it was there to latch onto. So then it's part of then I think that plays such a part of the character growing because you grow with the character as an actor. So I actually don't, wish that I knew. I feel comfortable with the way it happened because, I feel like there's a lot of things that I did differently season 1 or let's say even season 2 of the show that I'm doing now that I think that is just attributed to the growth of the character. As I grow as a person, my mindset and my thoughts on Stiles and just everything changes with me, and hence the way I portray it or do it or handle it will change too. And luckily, that's how people are. So it's so you can see a growth from season 1 to season 3 with the character. And it's not just an acting thing; it's also just me growing as a person with the character. I guess. What was the question? Did I answer it?
Yeah, you did.
Yes. You're doing fine.
So is Danny getting his own boyfriend for real this season? Do you think that takes some pressure off?
They're not Facebook official or anything.
Do you think that takes some pressure off of Steric happening?
Yeah. It's kind of like we've fulfilled everyone's void that apparently the show has. Derek and Stiles are on a little bit of a break. Or no, I don't know. We don't have that many scenes this year for some reason. For some reason, I want. Jeff was thinking. Our characters still have this, have that rapport, and just because it's not touched on as much, or just everything's so much bigger, So Derek's world grows, Stiles' world grows, hence they don't have time for each other's worlds, So we're just naturally everyone, even me and Posey, don't have many, as many scenes as we did together. It's kind of the case with everybody on the shows.
Most of Stiles' scenes are with Lydia this year. Is that correct?
Yeah. I'd say I've been with Colin the most. Not romantically. No, but it's kind of it's as I was saying, as Stiles for himself mainly, and kind of shelves that. He's obviously he still has those feelings for Lydia. That's not going to go away, overnight. Or ever, and so that's still obviously the underlying thing of the season. But what becomes more the focus is them becoming a team and them having to.
I think Jeff online mentioned that you collaborated with him on a scene.
Yeah. He wrote a scene with him. It was so cool. Yeah, he also has said that to me too, which would be amazing. But the thing is, we always struggle with we have to get the scripts done. It becomes, kind of a race against the clock at this point in season 2. We need to plan better. If I were to team up with him on a whole episode, we would have to do it for the next 12. But I mean, he's, hopefully we'll do it. He's always seemed adamant about it, which is amazing.
Season 2 had a lot more humor in it than season 1. Is that going to continue in season 3?
Humor. So you thought season 2 was funnier than season 1?
I thought they had a lot more humorous moments. Little jokes or
right. That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't even think about
Especially Stiles and Derek.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, totally. I know. It's almost like we got a little carried away.
Yeah.
Almost like. No. Yeah, I don't know. It actually seems darker. It's maybe less humorous, I think. But maybe that makes the humorous moments more humorous because of the other darker. Whoa!
stuff to think about.
Have you done your episode of New Girl yet?
Yeah, I did.
How was that?
It was so cool. It was so much fun. So it was so much fun, so sweet. Everyone on that cast was so cool. It was so sweet and nice to me. I just did 2 days on it. It was awesome. It was so much fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it.
Thanks.
All right,
Cool.
cool. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.